Did you really sign a deal with Yahoo, Andy?
Yahoo it? No.
Yeah.
No one will sign a deal with me for anything.
Oh.
No, maybe it sounds sad there. No, I haven't signed.
I could put in word at Yahoo.
Yeah, I'd like to be sponsored by them.
Are you satisfied?
With my provider?
Well,
What's your upload speeds?
like you're so outspoken and so funny and so on honest ground, and you say what you feel and are unmistakably one of the like a comic's comic and an audience's comic, and so incredibly funny.
Oh, thanks.
And where is your sitcom, like, that's run 13 episodes and then gotten canceled? Like, where is your crowning glory? Where are you at with your relationship with your career? Because you're like the king of this mountain that's like, I don't know how much higher you can get on it, but like everyone respects you, and like you're not Seinfeld, like,
right.
and so what is your relationship with that stuff?
Well, I think anybody who would say, like, I mean, anything that could happen where, someone said, here's your sitcom, I wouldn't turn it down. I mean, it's not like in my mind, I'd like to be since I was 12, I'd like to be a movie actor. You know how Louis does those faces where it's like, that's the kind of thing I did when I was 12. But the point is that I always like more. But the truth is, and this is the God's honest truth, is that I have never been the thing I love most is stand up, and it doesn't mean every night I love it, and the fact that I can pay my bills and I'm a recurring thing here or doing a little thing there. So I'm completely happy. The only thing that bothers me is when I get towards being broke.
Right.
And otherwise, I used to. Also, I don't want to fictionalize. Personally, don't want to fictionalize anything anymore. So, I don't want to be a stereo store sale. Well, that's not even exist. I don't want to be. I don't want to be. I don't want to be an exercise. The guy at the exercise studio who puts down the other exercises.
Right.
Well,
so. Yeah, I thought because we're friends with Drew Carey, who we watched go through. Well, we didn't watch him go through it. We met him when he was already going through it. Like, there's a dangerous game you're playing there when the highest achievement is you get a sitcom and you're like, my name's my actual name. But I work at an ad firm. But it's really me. And so your identity. I remember Drew had expressed this at one point. It's like, then you get canceled and it's you, but it's not you. It never was you.
Drew, when everybody was watching the Drew Carey show, that meant the world loved Drew Carey. They call it, I love Drew Carey. I love it, they're talking about the show, but it's also his first and last name. And then when people stop watching Drew Carey and stop liking Drew Carey, that's tough emotional ground.
Yeah. I also think the truth is, and this is the truth to me, is that you really can't control. That's why I like Oprah when they would do these actual ancient, Eastern ideas, but they would misappropriate them, like you create your own reality. But that doesn't work if you're Jewish and it means you wanted to go in a concentration camp. You know what I mean? It's like people. No, what I'm saying is, I'm just saying the Jews did not want to go into a concentration camp. So if you just think you create your own reality, that's a misunderstanding. But you do put your own energy in the world, and you can control what you do sometimes, but you can't always control what the end result is. So I'm comfortable that I just don't know what's going to happen, and that wouldn't discount anything.
Right.
I wouldn't do a show called The Drew Carey Show. I don't know why
that's off the table.
That's off the table.
Even though, you don't respect copyright law, but that's not the reason. You just wouldn't do it out of craftsmanship.
Yes.
It's like it's been done and you don't want to do it.
I'm a stickler. I'm not. They pitched me Seinfeld.
That's your show. That's your show.
Seinfeld.
The Stickler.
The Stickler.
I'm the Stickler.
Andy Stickler. The Andy Stickler Show.
But Andy Kindler is the Stickler.
Yeah. Hey, you're not getting that right.
That's you in the round window underneath. Andy Kindler is the Stickler, and then you pop up. Boop. Hey, you're not getting that right.
It's apostrophe S.
Yeah, he comes in and
In the words of Edwin Newman. Anyone? But I would like. Sometimes I think I'd like to do a talk show. I did a thing called Kindler Television, which I should probably put online because no one bought it. But and so I have ideas. But
I'm going to ask a question that's.
Did we cut you off, or what's the deal?
What? I'm just quiet.
Okay.
We're gonna play a game with him in a second, and you're captive of it. But do you have a podcast? That's like saying, what's your sign in the 70s?
this is a true story. Oh, by the way, one story I was saying, this is an absolute true story. One night I'm home and I'm watching Conan, and Warren Thomas comes on, and I'm not lying about this. A joke bombs. I'm eating seriously. I'm eating cereal, cold cereal, whenever time of night that Conan came on, right? In the old days. And he goes, a joke bombs, and Warren goes, "Oh, I'm entering Andy Kindlerville."
Whoa!
I jump for joy at home.
That's praise from Caesar, man.
So great. So back in the old days, audible.com, before there were podcasts,
The way you said that is like audible.com.
Hello? a little company called audible.com, and that company became Waze. They before podcasts they said, "Would you like to do?" I couldn't, but no one had a podcast. I couldn't conceive of what am I going to talk to myself. So had I come up with it then, that was the time to do it. Now I pride myself on being a guest on podcasts.
This isn't an exit, but you can come work out your shit here anytime you want, and have a relationship with them. Like come out and talk for a while and leave anytime you want. And we love you. I love you.
Thank you so much. This is great. Why are you motioning me towards the door?
I'm not, because I actually am dying to see you play Shadowrun with us. You can't. You can leave, but I would very much like you to stay.
I will say this, and just on the tail of that applause, one thing's for certain: I don't know a comic that I have any respect for that doesn't respect you, and that's and in the world of comedians where people can be competitive and dark and have their own shit and stuff like that. It's like,
name one person that would go, "Oh yeah, I'll have a comedy contest with Andy Kindler." Like there's no, we don't typically speak in that language.
Andy, I remember seeing you. Do you remember the Onyx Cafe that was on?
I absolutely do. It was across the street from Pedro's Grill, right? Or around there?
Just up the road.
Up the road, yeah.
On Vermont. It's gone
now. By the
way,
thanks for saying that, man. It means so much.
There was a tiny little coffee house, and I don't think I talked about this. We completely just filleted you on a show a while back where we talked about how much we loved you for a half hour. But there was this tiny little coffee house, and there was never more than 20 people in there. And it was run by Josh DiDonato. Remember him?
Oh, my God, yeah.
And this was a guy that started putting an actual fucking egg timer on the stage. And he would set it, like, so if you went over your 2 minutes... I remember Jeremy Kramer kicking it like a football, and it went like 50 yards. It was great. But you came out, and I don't believe you did anything that resembled material at all. You just riffed a guy in the front row the entire goddamn time. There was a guy that had an outfit on, and the joke was, it was not a preposterous outfit. You just gave this guy the business about his shirt, and it was a perfectly acceptable shirt, but you just gave him shit.
Perfectly acceptable shirt.
And you just stormed this. The stage was like a really like smaller than the Meltdown stage, like probably by half. A little tiny piece of like wood on wooden blocks. And you just stormed around it like General Patton, and we were just fucking apoplectic laughing. And also, whether it was that night or another night, there was these two guys came in. We heard guitars playing up the street, and they came down the road and came in, and it was Jack Black and Kyle Gass, and no one had ever heard of them before.
I remember this night. I remember that.
And I asked Jack about it, and I said, I saw you play at the Honest Cafe, and he goes, that was our first show.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
do you remember how funny that bit they were doing was?
Yeah, they came in again.
Wow.
Like, you came in there and you absolutely just dominated. And then, I don't know who was on first, you or them, but they came in, they stood back to back and strumming the fuck out of these acoustic guitars. Amazing. And circled around. And they sang, what's the song? This is not the best song in the world. Tribute. They fucking sang Tribute, and it was their first fucking show. And Sarah Silverman, I think Paul F. Tompkins that was maybe one of his first shows in LA, and he had a shitty, rumpled ass, ill-fitting suit, and now he's like sartorial fucking mastery. But that was a magical.
We
time.
had a great. I mean, that was unbelievable.
And it was all the quote unquote independent and indie comics that came down from the Bay Area. Were you Bay Area?
No, I'm from. It's a long. Well, not that long a story. I'm from Queens, and I moved here.
Right.
Don't get me stuck. No, I started here. I came out to be a musician. I started comedy here just because I would have had to have left to start in a smaller town. But I knew all those guys because I used to play Laughs Unlimited in Sacramento.
It was so magical.
An amazing
like,
time.
I remember that moment of like being there. With my, Fred Belford, our friend, took me there, and we sat there. And I'm not a stand-up comic, but everybody there was either up-and-comers. Or there were people that like, oh, you have to see this guy. This person's from, or this gal. Like this is Jeanine Garofalo. This is Margaret Cho. There's like these people that they've heard of. Everything in there was so fucking magical, and the host was kind of a Looney Tunes.
Yeah,
and,
he really was crazy.
But there was you and Jeremy Kramer and it was Harlan Williams and fucking. It was so goddamn.
And Bob Odenkirk's stand-up.
Yeah.
Amazing stand-up.
That was a magical time, and then I told them a little bit. You did a show called Hacks.
You gave me a smile like
hello.
Like you and I both know Bob Odenkirk's full of shit.
Anyway, there was that magical moment when you go like, oh, like I'm allowed to like stand-up again because stand-up had this giant explosion in the 80s where everybody that thought they were mildly entertaining stood in front of a brick wall and bummed you the fuck out.
But you can't knock that generation because I mean, like, it became very like. It was very strange. It was like Judy Tenuta and our friend Bobcat Goldthwait, and like there was the character comedy started happening. It was like there was this huge pressure on comedians to like come out and like it was like Star Search, like you gotta fucking like below like what's your deal? Are you the guy with the penis for a head? Are you the guy with dice on his neck? Or like is your name Jacques Van Schlackendock? And then the 90s it was like this. It was the grunge thing. It was it was like but you transcend all of that because you don't wear flannel and never have.
I wore acid wash jackets in the late 80s. It's the most depressing thing. But I will say one thing right now. I think right now is an amazing time period for comedy right now. I really do.
Great.
Because people are actually going out.
These guys are fans of Right Now.
But like
I love Right Now.
Adomian, Hannibal Buress. There's so many amazing. It's pretty cool.
Who are you naming? What's the
James Adomian?
Oh yeah, he was on last week.
So
he came on and did a Bernie Sanders impression for 3 hours. It was great.
It was amazing.
Yeah. And Hannibal Buress. I mean, there's just so many names and people like Todd Glass, who was always hilarious, and it's just amazing. I don't know. It's just like
let's not forget Jeff Dunham.
He's great.
Like,
he's not racist.
Following
the
their heart.
puppet's racist.
Carlos Mencia is really hitting a stride right now.
Yes.